Meghan and Andrew were entangled long before she ever laid eyes on Harry, and yes, I nearly lost my composure watching her sweep into the royal fold. Frankly, I'm relieved the truth is finally spilling into daylight.
Meghan and Andrew were entangled long before she ever laid eyes on Harry. And yes, I nearly lost my composure watching her sweep into the royal fold. Frankly, I'm relieved the truth is finally spilling into daylight. Deep within the shadowed halls of Windsor, where secrets have lingered for centuries, a single conversation shattered the fragile calm of the British monarchy. It was a foggy evening in late autumn when Sarah Ferguson, the Duchess of York, sat down for what was meant to be a routine chat about her latest ventures. But as the cameras rolled, her words cut through the air like a thunderclap, exposing cracks in the royal facade that no one saw coming. She spoke with a mix of relief and resolve, hinting at long-buried connections that tied the family in unexpected knots. The country held its breath as her revelations echoed across headlines, stirring whispers that had simmered for years into a full-blown storm. Sarah, often seen as the outspoken outsider who never fully escaped the royal orbit, chose her moment carefully. In recent months, she had faced her own trials, from financial pressures to the ongoing fallout of her ex-husband, Prince Andrew's controversies. Reports from outlets like The Sun detailed how U.S. networks were courting her for a high-stakes tell-all with offers reaching six figures fueled by her eviction from Royal Lodge. This backdrop set the stage for her to address not just her story but the intertwined fates of others in the family. She alluded to past entanglements, suggesting that certain figures had crossed paths in ways that predated public knowledge, leaving the monarchy vulnerable at a time when unity was paramount. The interview quickly went viral, with clips circulating on social media platforms like X, where users dissected every pause and inflection. Posts from accounts analyzing royal dynamics amplified the drama, drawing parallels to historical royal upheavals. What made it explosive was the implication of hidden relationships that could tarnish reputations already under scrutiny. As the public digested her words, questions arose. How deep did these connections run? And what did it mean for the younger generation, including Prince Harry, who had stepped back from royal duties amid his own share of controversies? This wasn't just gossip. It tapped into a broader narrative of royal accountability. Sarah's comments came at a pivotal time following years of media frenzy around the family. From Andrew's association with Jeffrey Epstein, which led to his withdrawal from public life in 2019 after a disastrous BBC interview, to the Sussex's high-profile exit, the monarchy had been battered by revelations. Her decision to speak out now seemed calculated, perhaps a response to her own marginalization, as detailed in reports from Cosmopolitan about her eyeing a $1 million revenge interview. The palace remained silent, but insiders whispered that the fallout could reshape alliances within the family. As the story unfolded, it became clear this was more than a personal vent. It highlighted the enduring tensions between tradition and modernity, loyalty and self-preservation. Sarah, who had endured her own scandals in the 1990s, including the infamous toe-sucking photos, positioned herself as a truth-teller. Her words opened a Pandora's box, forcing the public to confront uncomfortable truths about power, privilege, and the human flaws beneath the crowns. What followed would test the resilience of the institution itself, drawing in figures like Catherine, whose steady presence had become a beacon amid the chaos. The allegations didn't emerge from thin air. They built on a web of speculation that had quietly grown over the years. Whispers of links between Meghan Markle and Prince Andrew surfaced in fringe media and online forums, often tied to broader narratives about elite circles. While no concrete evidence has ever confirmed a personal entanglement, the rumors gained traction through associations with mutual acquaintances and high society events. Sources like Reddit threads and YouTube videos speculated wildly, but credible reports emphasized the lack of direct ties beyond familial ones. Meghan's pre-royal life as an actress on Suits placed her in Hollywood's orbit, where paths could indirectly cross with international figures. Andrew, meanwhile, had cultivated a network through his role as a trade envoy, traveling extensively and mingling with influencers. Reports from the News International clarified that Meghan has no connection to Andrew other than being his nephew's wife, debunking sensational claims. Yet, persistent online chatter, including posts on platforms like IMDb, probed mysterious ties, often linking back to events predating her 2018 marriage to Harry. The Epstein scandal cast a long shadow, with Andrew's friendship drawing intense scrutiny. Sarah herself had passed links to Epstein, once calling him a supreme friend in emails that resurfaced as noted by the Express. Meghan, however, was never implicated in those documents. Attempts to connect her often stemmed from misidentified photos or baseless conjecture. Still, The narrative persisted in tabloids, with videos on YouTube claiming secret relationships exposed through receipts, though these lacked verifiable proof. Sarah's interview reignited these embers, her relief at truth spilling into daylight, interpreted by some as a nod to these rumors. In reality, her comments may have been more about the family's broader scandals, as she has historically defended Meghan, telling Vogue Arabia in 2019 that she could relate to her media pain and called her modern and fabulous. This contrast highlighted the complexity Sarah's empathy for outsiders like Meghan juxtaposed against the protective instincts for her ex-husband. As details trickled out, the focus shifted to how such rumors affected the inner circle. Harry's awareness of these whispers, amplified by media like the Mirror discussing distressing claims, added layers of tension. The alleged entanglement, if true, would have predated Meghan's royal entry, raising questions about transparency and trust. But without substantiation, it remained a specter haunting the family's image, underscoring the perils of unverified stories in the digital age. The revelation hit like a seismic wave when the full scope came to light. Insiders described a tense confrontation where the alleged past was laid bare to Prince Harry, leaving him reeling. Reports from sources like Facebook posts and YouTube channels dramatized the scene, though credible outlets focused on the emotional toll rather than unproven affairs. Harry, already navigating his post-royal life, faced a barrage of questions about loyalty and legacy. Meghan's response was one of profound distress, as detailed in analyses from Radar Online and similar platforms which explored the impact of such accusations on her public persona. She had vehemently denied any impropriety, with legal actions against defamatory claims like those reported by Yahoo against the Daily Mail. The devastation stemmed not just from the rumors, but from their timing amid efforts to rebuild her brand through initiatives like American Riviera Orchard. The disclosure amplified existing rifts. Harry's vows to sue over yacht past rumors, as mentioned in Facebook discussions, showed his protective stance. Yet, the narrative persisted, fueled by books like Andrew Looney's Entitled, which touched on royal warnings and dynamics. This moment forced a reckoning, with Meghan reportedly seeking distance from certain family members as per 900. In the palace, the ripple effects were felt deeply. Charles dealing with Andrew's eviction saw parallels in managing scandals. The emphasis shifted to preserving the core institution, highlighting how personal revelations could undermine collective stability. Sarah Ferguson, the Duchess of York, has long been a complex and multifaceted presence in the royal narrative, often oscillating between loyalty to the family and her own unfiltered candor. Emerging as a pivotal figure in this unfolding drama, her recent interview served as the catalyst that brought simmering tensions to the forefront. Once dubbed the royal rebel following her high-profile divorce from Prince Andrew in 1996, Sarah has meticulously rebuilt her public image through a prolific career in authorship, philanthropy, and media engagements. She has penned over 50 books, ranging from children's stories to memoirs like Finding Sarah, which chronicled her personal struggles with weight, finances, and public scrutiny. However, recent setbacks have evidently pushed her toward greater openness. For instance, reports from Fox News highlighted how her ex-husband's ongoing scandals have led to significant business blows, including the abrupt withdrawal of her children's book, Flora and Fern, along the way by its publisher amid the fallout. This financial strain, compounded by her eviction from Royal Lodge, a residence she shared with Andrew, has fueled speculation about her motivations. With outlets like Cosmopolitan noting her consideration of $1 million tell-all interview as a form of revenge against King Charles. Her comments in the bombshell interview, while not explicitly confirming any rumors of entanglements, expressed a palpable relief at truth spilling into daylight, as analyzed in various YouTube discussions that dissected her tone and implications. Historically, Sarah has been a vocal supporter of Meghan Markle, drawing parallels between their experiences as outsiders navigating the royal machine. In a 2019 interview with Vogue Arabia, she empathized deeply, stating, "It must be hard for Meghan, and I can relate to her. I believe she is modern and fabulous." This sentiment echoed in later years. In 2023, she defended Harry and Meghan's decision to step back from royal duties, telling People magazine she held no judgment toward them and praising their beautiful life in California, emphasizing how Meghan had made Harry so happy. Sarah's own history of media rounding, from the infamous 1992 to sucking scandal to financial debts and Epstein associations, mirrored the intense scrutiny Meghan faced, fostering a genuine empathy that she has repeatedly articulated. Yet, her stance has shown nuances and subtle shifts over time, revealing a more layered perspective. For example, a 2021 YouTube analysis pointed to a brief period where Sarah appeared to align with critics like Piers Morgan post-Oprah interview, sending him supportive messages before reverting to praise, such as endorsing Meghan's children's book, The Bench. Subtle swipes have also surfaced, particularly around personal family milestones. Reports from MSN and The Mirror suggested Sarah's frustration when Harry and Meghan announced their pregnancy on the day of Princess Eugenie's wedding in 2018, viewing it as an attempt to overshadow the event. These moments highlight a protective maternal instinct toward her daughters Beatrice and Eugenie, who maintain close ties with the Sussexes despite the rifts. Adding another layer to her evolving position are her recent health battles, which have perhaps softened her outlook or heightened her resolve for authenticity. Diagnosed with breast cancer in 2023 and malignant melanoma in early 2024, Sarah has used these experiences to advocate for health awareness, appearing on shows like Loose Women to share her journey. This vulnerability may explain her willingness to speak out now amid frustrations over the Royal Lodge eviction, as warned by The Telegraph that she could destroy long-held secrets if pushed too far. Her unwavering loyalty to Andrew despite his withdrawal from public life following the 2019 BBC Newsite interview and subsequent legal settlements underscores her role as a family defender. In this context, Sarah positions herself as a bridge between the traditional royal establishment and its more modern estranged members. Her words not just a vent, but a call for transparency in an institution plagued by opacity. This evolving stance from staunch defender to nuanced commentator reflects her own resilience and the shifting dynamics within the House of Windsor. The monarchy's history is a tapestry woven with threads of power, privilege, and peril, where scandals have repeatedly tested the crown's endurance. From medieval intrigues to modern media storms, personal indiscretions have often overshadowed reigns, drawing eerie parallels to the current turmoil sparked by Sarah Ferguson's revelations. These episodes reveal a recurring pattern: hidden relationships, public betrayals, and the relentless scrutiny that amplifies human flaws into institutional crises. Just as today's whispers of entanglements between figures like Prince Andrew and Meghan Markle echo through tabloids and social media, past controversies have shaken the foundations of the House of Windsor and its predecessors, forcing adaptations or risking irrelevance. Consider the abdication crisis of 1936 when King Edward VIII relinquished the throne to Mary Wallace Simpson, an American divorcee. This romantic entanglement not only divided the family but also challenged the Church of England's doctrines, leading to a constitutional upheaval that reshaped the line of succession. The scandal mirrored today's familial rifts where personal choices clash with royal duties. Much like Harry's decision to step back amid his own marital dynamics, Edward's story underscores how love affairs can destabilize the monarchy, a theme resonant in Andrew's associations that have sidelined him from public life. Delving deeper into history, the Tudor era offers stark examples with Henry VIII's serial marriages and executions. His obsession with producing a male heir led to the beheading of Anne Boleyn on charges of adultery and treason. Scandals that fractured religious and political alliances across Europe. This ruthless pursuit of personal desires parallels the modern royal family's struggles with infidelity rumors such as those surrounding Charles and Camilla's long affair, which eroded public trust during Diana's lifetime. Diana herself became embroiled in scandals, from her explosive 1995 Panorama interview exposing marital woes to her own extramarital relationships, which fueled a media frenzy that tragically culminated in her 1997 death. These events highlight how scandals involving romance and betrayal can humanize royals while simultaneously tarnishing their mystique. Even earlier, the Plantagenet dynasty saw Edward II's favoritism toward Piers Gaveston, a relationship that sparked noble rebellions and ultimately contributed to the king's deposition in 1327. Such favoritism echoes Andrew's controversial friendships, which have drawn legal and ethical scrutiny, reminding us that alliances with influential outsiders can invite disaster. In the Georgian period, the future George IV's secret marriage to Maria Fitzherbert in 1785 violated the Royal Marriages Act, creating a web of deceit that foreshadowed later entanglements like Sarah Ferguson's own 1990 scandals, including financial improprieties and compromising photos. More recently, the Windsor have navigated a barrage of controversies, from Princess Margaret's forbidden romance with Peter Townsend in the 1950s to the Squidgate tapes of Diana's intimate conversations in the 1990s. The 21st century brought Andrew's Epstein ties, leading to his 2019 withdrawal from duties after a botched interview and even motorcade accidents involving Sophie and Charles, which raised questions about royal accountability. These incidents parallel the Sussexes' media battles, where unverified rumors amplify divisions, as seen in online discussions and books probing family dynamics. Andrews-Epstein association, culminating in a 2022 settlement, directly ties to the current narrative, where Sarah's comments on truth spilling into daylight evoke a sense of catharsis amid ongoing fallout. Sarah and Andrew's 1996 divorce amid her scandals draws comparisons to Harry and Meghan's exit. As noted in public forums, Times of India and other outlets list such shocks, including medieval murders and coups, illustrating that royalty has always balanced grandeur with vulnerability. This enduring cycle shows how individual actions ripple outward, with modern media accelerating the damage. The current saga fits this mold, transforming whispers into global spectacles and testing the monarchy's resilience in an era of instant information. Yet, history also teaches recovery. Scandals fade, but the institution adapts, often emerging stronger through reform or renewed public sympathy. Amid the tarnish brought by swirling scandals, Catherine, the Princess of Wales, emerges as an unyielding pillar of strength for the monarchy. Her unwavering commitment to meaningful causes has not only bolstered the royal image, but also provided a counterbalance to the family's more turbulent narratives through flagship initiatives like the Shaping Us campaign, launched in 2023 to highlight the critical importance of early childhood development. She has shifted public focus toward positive societal impact. This effort, aimed at raising awareness about how the first 5 years shaped lifelong well-being, has garnered widespread acclaim, drawing in experts, businesses, and communities to invest in the future. Catherine's advocacy extends deeply into mental health and addiction support, where patronage of organizations like the Forward Trust demonstrates her hands-on approach. In a poignant visit to HMP Hyone Prison in Surrey just days ago, she learned firsthand how the charity aids those in the criminal justice system struggling with substance abuse, emphasizing rehabilitation over judgment. She issued a heartfelt plea for society to show compassion and love to addicts and alcoholics, urging an end to the stigma that hinders recovery. This message resonates particularly amid royal controversies, positioning her as a voice of empathy and progress when the institution faces criticism. Her charitable portfolio is vast and varied, including roles as patron of the Anna Freud Center for Mental Health, Action for Children, and Sports Aid, among others. These commitments reflect a dedication to vulnerable groups, from young athletes to families in crisis. A touching example from 2018 was her quiet donation of 7 in of her hair to the Little Princess Trust, helping create wigs for children undergoing cancer treatment. A gesture done away from the spotlight, underscoring her genuine compassion. Even in the face of ongoing family dramas such as Prince Andrew's persistent legal and reputational challenges, Catherine has extended olive branches to maintain unity. Reports indicate she invited Princesses Beatrice and Eugenie to her annual Christmas Carol service, offering support to Andrew's daughters despite the Epstein fallout. This act of inclusion highlights her role in bridging divides, fostering familial harmony when external pressures threaten to fracture it. Analysts and royal watchers consistently praise her grace under immense pressure, noting how she unifies the family in the post-Queen Elizabeth era. Following a whirlwind week of public engagements, her unfaltering determination shone through, delivering passionate pleas on behalf of parents and making dazzling returns to duty despite personal and institutional strains. In times of crisis, like the fallout from Andrews' associations or the broader Sussex controversies, Catherine's poise reassures the public, proving her indispensable importance when the royal image falters. Her measured responses to controversies, always maintaining dignity and focus on service, align perfectly with the sentiment that Catherine was absolutely right. This balanced approach, prioritizing family peace, public good, and quiet resilience, cements her as the monarchy's steady anchor, guiding it through storms with a blend of tradition and modernity that inspires hope for its enduring relevance. The public's response was swift and divided, igniting a firestorm across social media platforms and traditional outlets alike. X-threads exploded with debates, comparing figures like Meghan, Andrew, and Sarah as emblems of royal decay, with some users rallying behind Meghan by labeling the claims as malicious fabrications, while others amplified calls for full accountability from the palace. Recent polls, including those referenced in media analyses, revealed a stark split. A significant portion defended Meghan against what they saw as baseless smears, citing her past denials and legal victories over tabloid intrusions. Whereas a vocal minority demanded deeper investigations into family ties, fueling hashtags like #RoyalReckoning that trended for days. Media coverage intensified the discourse, with outlets like the BBC delving into why personalities such as Sarah continue to be snared by scandals, often portraying her as both a victim and enabler in Andrew's controversies. Experts weighed in heavily. For instance, royal commentators on platforms like YouTube and in articles from Cosmopolitan described Sarah as massively on edge, panicking over her derailed career amid book deal cancellations tied to Epstein fallout, which indirectly spotlighted the alleged Meghan connections. This scrutiny extended to broader implications for the monarchy's future, including mounting calls for institutional reform amidst plummeting support among younger demographics, as evidenced by surveys showing disillusionment with outdated traditions. This episode not only reinforced the urgent need for transparency, as hinted in Sarah's relief over emerging truths, but also cast a harsh light on entrenched gender dynamics within royal narratives. Women like Meghan and Sarah often bear disproportionate public scorn and media dissection compared to their male counterparts, sparking feminist critiques in online forums and editorials that argue such biases perpetuate inequality in how scandals are handled. Ultimately, the revelations have prompted wider societal reflections on privilege, prompting some to question the monarchy's relevance in a modern accountable era. In the end, this saga unveils the intricate balance between the monarchy's enduring strength and its inherent vulnerabilities. A theme that has persisted through centuries of British history. Sarah Ferguson's interview, laden with dramatic undertones, compels us to distinguish between verifiable truths and the relentless churn of unsubstantiated rumors that plague modern royalty. It echoes past upheavals from the abdication crisis of 1936 to more recent media storms, reminding us how personal revelations can erode public trust. Recent polls, such as a YouGov survey showing that around 3/4 of Britons believe Prince Andrew should testify in U.S. proceedings related to his controversies, highlight the growing demand for accountability within the institution. This sentiment extends to Sarah herself, with reports indicating she is contemplating six-figure offers for a tell-all interview, potentially amplifying divisions as palace aides brace for further fallout. Amid these tempests, Catherine's unwavering role emerges as a symbol of renewal and stability. Her public engagements fostering a sense of continuity that counters the tarnish of scandals. Her emphasis on family unity and charitable causes positions her as a modern anchor, suggesting that the monarchy's survival may hinge on figures who embody quiet resilience rather than inherited privilege. Yet, the broader implications linger. How do such exposures affect the younger generation's view of the crown? With declining support among millennials and Gen Z as evidenced by ongoing surveys, could this be a catalyst for reform or further fragmentation? What are your thoughts on Sarah's revelations and their timing? How should the royal family navigate these scandals to rebuild credibility? Does Catherine truly represent the path forward for a reinvented monarchy? Share your opinions in the comments below and stay tuned for unfolding developments that could reshape the House of Windsor's narrative.